Pastor Carl Henley and his wife, Mr. Henley, and the congregants of the Gregory Park Baptist Church. Very special to me. I was here a couple years ago, and as Pastor would say, I am a forever member. Right, Pastor? Thank you. So why are we here? We are here because International Women's Day is observed annually on March 8th every year. And this started in the early 1900s and provides a golden opportunity for the world to acknowledge and celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. We're not taking anything away from the men, but today is our day, so we ask you to recognize all the women in the room. And we have the men giving a clap, a round of applause, just the men. Thank you, men. The idea to acknowledge the achievements of women came at a time when the global village was going through a process of expansion and transformation. This resulted in active population growth and widespread increase in radical and innovative thought and ideologies. The date, March 8th, derived its significance from a very tragic experience which I'll share with you. This happened when women needed trade workers, it's like seamstresses and dressmakers in our culture, worked in New York and reacted towards acts of brutal exploitation. I'll explain. The women were not allowed to have the rights that they needed, and so the conditions of work were very horrific. And as you know, women tend to speak out against any act of insubordination, discrimination, exploitation, abuse. And so a Women's Day demonstration was held to fight for the building of needle trade unions. This Price will be very happy when I say that, because she's here with her large numbers of union members from the Jamaica Household Workers Union. And these women demanded the right to vote and to have better working conditions. The success of the rally led to similar rallies in other cities in the United States, and that spread like wildfire across other countries. There's a very important lady, I need you to listen to her name and remember it. Her name is Clara Zetkin, and she was the leader of the German Socialist Party, and that woman was very instrumental in this struggle. In 1910, they had a meeting, and at that very important meeting, there were some discussions around how it was that they would frame an activity that would be held globally in all parts of the world to ensure that women would not ever again be subjected to that kind of abuse and exploitation. So in 1911, the inaugural, or the first, observance of International Day was held. You know, Jamaica has a stake, everything that's happening for women, we are on it, right? So in October 1975, the World Congress for International Women's Day was held in Berlin and was attended by quite a number of delegates. That was over 2,000 delegates. And that alone, for that day, to be the start of the recognition of International Women's Day in all countries. Now, Jamaica is always on the ball, as I mentioned. So the celebration of International Women's Day, while global, is also national and local. And so every year on March 8th, and this church service heralds the day itself, which is going to be on Friday. All parts of Jamaica decided to be a part of it. So we have government being a part of it, non-governmental organizations, charities, and not-for-profits, corporations, academic institutions, and of course, women's groups, such as the Jamaica Household Workers Union, the Ward Hills Women's Group. I'm not going to name them because I'm not going to cheat my minister. Now, in Jamaica, we started with a band in 1978. That's just 3 years after that large, very large conference that was held in Berlin. And IWD is an occasion to reflect on the struggles of women in all forms and all parts, anything that's going to be discriminatory it means that we're going to be looking for how can we attack it, how can we address it, how can we put strategies in place. Because at the end of the day, we are working towards gender equality, equity, and socio-economic empowerment. So we love to celebrate International Women's Day because it allows us to reflect on all the things that happened before. Those women who suffered brutally in those workstations that were did not have conditions that were considered acceptable. And it allows us to certainly plan global targets and local targets for women's empowerment. IWD therefore gives us this opportunity to look at the untapped potentials and opportunities for women. This year's international theme, I'm sure you'd like to know, is Invest in Women, Accelerate Change. But being Jamaicans, we normally like to put our own spin on things. And so while we recognize that this global theme is a call to action to address the global financing of gender equality measures, we decided to have a similar theme with a local flavor. And this theme that I will share with you just now allows us to look at how we can challenge the investment in women, ensuring that we look at the human rights elements where women are concerned, that we implement gender-responsive financing, and that we shift to a green economy and a fair society to support women. So the local theme is investing in women and girls in leadership to accelerate gender equality, equity, and socio-economic empowerment. I don't know if you've heard it, so I'm going to say it again. The local theme is investing in women and girls in leadership to accelerate gender equality, equity, and socio-economic empowerment. And we believe this is important because we think and we know it will provide a myriad of opportunities to celebrate women in leadership who are poised to accelerate change in all aspects of the Jamaican society. Finally, women's advancement in leadership is a clear demonstration of the progress that has been made and what has been achieved when we dare to invest in women. This year's observance of International Women's Day will also highlight the importance of investing in women in leadership to accelerate every possible activity and every single goal that we ever want to achieve based on what it is that we agree to do and what we decide to work on. I thank you.